Happy New Year! Hey, it's Dali from DaliTalks.com. And those of you who do not know me, I am a diversity and anti-bullying consultant to parents and children. So if you've been following me for the last year, then you probably know that it's pretty rare to see me on video. And there's a reason for that. I'm pretty uncomfortable on video. So I decided to do this because one of the challenges I put on myself for this year is to do things that make me uncomfortable and to push myself to do things that I'm scared of. So I'm going to take the opportunity to, first of all, thank each and everyone who have subscribed to my newsletter or who follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I really appreciate each and every one of you because without you, I would have no purpose here. So here we go. I want to share 3 tips for 2018, and one of them is really simple and very small, but I think it can make a huge difference, and that is to choose one bad habit, because we all have them, and turn it into a good habit. And I'll give you an example. Years ago, like many years ago, when I was recently married, I used to leave the lights on all the time. And I remember my husband asking me, like, why can't you just turn off the lights? It's so simple. Just, hit the switch. And I was kind of embarrassed because, like, man, okay, sounds like my mom. Why can't I do that? What's wrong with me? So the next time I walked out of a room, I forgot to turn off the light. And I was like, oh, crap. And I was like, oh, I just gotta go turn it off. It's not a big deal. It's just a few steps away. I don't know why. It seemed like such an enormous task. But I went back and I did it and I felt really relieved. And then time after that, like every single time, I'd leave a room, I was like, oh, okay, no, I have to go turn it off. I just have to. Even if it wasn't me who had left it on, I would just go back and turn it off. And I did that at work. It just became like this habit where I just had to go and turn it off. And then another one was my keys. I always had to search for my keys. Such a horrible habit. And I would get into arguments with my husband's like, where are your keys? I don't know. Why don't you know where your keys are? It was just bad habit. And I didn't have a system of, like organizing where I would put stuff. So I went and, got one of those key holder thingies and put it in the kitchen. And I put my purse there too. So I never lost my keys or purse. It's been years after that. So pick one small habit and you'll see what a big difference it'll make in your life. The other one is to journal. And I know that this sounds corny. A lot of people think it's like, ugh, whatever, but I'm corny. And believe me, there's something beautiful about journaling. You can read a little bit about it, about how to get started on my latest blog post. It's called Your Memories in a Book. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be something formal. There are many ways you can keep it secure. So check out that blog for ideas. But one of the things that I really love about journaling is that, number one, you don't have to do it every day. We all have lives and we have a lot of stuff going on. So even if you do it like maybe once a month for 15 minutes, you'll be amazed at how much you can write in there. And, capture your little moments in life in a book that you can go back to, years later and reminisce. But one of the things that happens that's so amazing when you journal is that you start writing down your vision, your dreams, your aspirations. And then as you continue to write, you start developing it on paper. And before you know it, you've developed a plan and a strategy. And then you start subconsciously, just taking action. And that's what happened to me with this blog. I remember years ago, I was like, oh man, I want to blog one day, but I don't know what to blog about. And they were like, well, I could blog about this or that. This is what I've done. This is what I know very, very well. And the next thing you know, I was buying my domain, to start this blog. And I'm not an expert. I mean, I've only been blogging for a year with this on this site. I have a lot of learning to do. but it's pretty cool to see that progress. And also it's cool to see other things that were going on while I was doing all of this. So it's also a very good form of meditating. If you watch Glee, then you can probably remember Sue Sylvester, how she would journal. And I loved it. I found it so hilarious because she's like, "Dear journal," and you know, blah 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 blah. I was like, oh my god, she's awesome. Because I kind of used to do that. I used to refer to my journal as a person, and then sometimes I'd talk to myself in my journal. Yeah, I'm corny. I believe me. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk to you about is if you have a child in your life. Since I am a diversity and anti-bullying, you know, consultant, I want to challenge you to please, please speak to your children about stereotypes, because stereotypes is one of the many factors of bullying, what of the causes of bullying. And if you think about it, a lot of the bullying starts because kids believe something false about another child or another person. And you don't have to speak to your child about, oh, this is what a stereotype is, you know, like all like formal and all. But when you're watching TV or when you're listening to music, when you're watching music videos or, you know, just anything, and you see a stereotype being depicted, talk to them. Talk to them as like, oh, you know, that's actually that's called a stereotype, and it's just like this assumption of a certain type of people, you know. And start speaking to them about it, because studies show that kids as young as 3 years old recognize stereotypes, and they may not know the word, but they definitely recognize them. And one of the things that happens when kids are affected by these stereotypes is bullying, of course, among many other things, but it's just discrimination. And kids are, you know, disrupted at school. They're worried for their safety. They start missing school, especially if they're, you know, when they're being bullied. And if you are not correcting it, and if you're not pointing it out, and neither is a teacher or anybody at school, then you're kind of going along with it, and you're in a way reinforcing it. And when you reinforce it, there's no reason for the child to think that they have to change it or not do it. So the child adopts it. And that's how we end up with the world that we have today. And I mean, it's not going to change overnight, you know. Doing this one thing, it's not going to change the world, but it can definitely change your child and your household and your community. So those are my tips. So again, number 1, change one bad habit. Number 2, journal, so that you can capture your, you know, little capsule of, you know, life in a book. And 3, talk to your kids about stereotypes. I hope that these 3 tips help you out. Let me know what you think about them, and let me know how it works out. And I wish you a very prosperous, happy, and peaceful 2018. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.